She's just desperate to make a beeline left in a bit. Chloe, come here. Good girl. I'm only from like a little village in Doncaster, but that was the done thing back in the day. You just like finish school, get changed, come back out, just play football like just against walls. Just like a typical kid really. Just you just followed what everybody else did. My mum and dad, they divorced when I was quite young, and so I went and I lived with my mum and my grandparents, so my mum's mum and dad. And like my dad and my dad's side of the family always had like a lot of involvement, just making sure, do you know what I mean? I understand like both sides of where I come from, and my mum was very good at that as well. But I guess growing up in sort of like a predominantly white area, I think ultimately for me, as a kid, I just wanted to fit in really. So football then, so something I enjoyed, it was where you fit in because you know what I mean, you like football, so and that was it. That's all I thought it was. There wasn't so much feelings on it in terms of race or identity. Like, do you know what I mean? Everybody that turned up to training sessions and that, we were all there because you like football, and that was it really. It's simple really. At the time when I first played, I don't think there were any like players of colour in the Bells. I remember they used to take us. We used to get tickets for the England women's games, and you know what I mean, if they were local enough, like we'd all go along. And I think that's the first time I saw like black people playing football, like black women. Yeah, and so it was like sort of like Rachel Yankee. I remember Mary Phillip. So yeah, going to games and I'm like, there's someone there that's like my colour, do you know what I mean? I know it's like a bit of a cliche saying and we hear it a lot, but if you can see it, you can be it. Even just as a girl, like, so I think the thing with women's football is, do you know what I mean? Without the colour of your skin coming into it, there's a lot of misogyny around it. So like it was almost like double bubble really, do you know what I mean? I'm a girl, I want to play football, and I happen to not be white. I do think it's important that young girls can see people like me, do you know what I mean? And it's not just about being black. I think being mixed race, you know, I spent a lot of time wondering, well, I'm obviously not white, but I'm also not black, like, do you know what I mean? I'm a bit of both, and I guess as I've grown up, I've learned to sort of embrace that fact.
Simmons with the corner. Here is Vicky Williams, 2-0.
You know, you're not born thinking negative things about the colour of someone's skin, and I think a lot of kids, they don't really see it. Do you know what I mean? They don't see it like that. So, like when I've spoken to them before, I've just kind of reminded them that they've got the power to change perceptions, because like both my parents are like, well, they're nearly 70 now. Do you know what I mean? So I have quite old parents, and so I know about the generations before, how race is perceived. This new generation of kids growing up, they're more switched on to issues like this, and I feel like they really just need like empowering. If you exist, you should be proud, like life's a gift. So yeah, so no matter what it is, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm proud I can kick a football in the WSL, but the next person's proud might be proud they can actually walk up and down the stairs today. Just like proud of your existence, that's what, yeah, proud is. It's funny, like growing up, and I was only having this conversation with like my mum last night prior to like you coming down, and I was saying, do you know what like is crazy about this whole thing is like I'm not black. So to a white person, they look at me and I would fit into that category for them as being black, but actually I'm mixed race, and I'm two totally different cultures. I don't know, I have the opportunity there to have like a unique blend of experience and in life. I do think like some people look at sort of mixed race and like I said, because you're clearly I'm not white, but am I allowed to feel racism the same way, because obviously like people who are black have totally different experience of racism and how they feel that they're being treated, and it's not always the same for mixed race people. Do you know what I mean? It's Black History Month. Am I allowed to, like, is this actually my space to speak? Or actually should it be for people that are black to talk about? Because I spent like a lot of time as a kid thinking, oh, yeah, I'm black, and you know, you almost have that, I don't know, it came from a good space, but this whole like, you know what I mean, you've got to be twice as good to be as good, and kind of always thought, you know what I mean, if I'm going to get anywhere, I'm going to have had to have worked like almost doubly as hard to be given a chance. And I was actually reading on a little website actually about mixed race people, and they share their stories about growing up and stuff like that. And one of them was, do you know what I mean, what would you say to your younger self? And a lot of them had said like, stop chemically straightening your hair, stop using the straighteners on your hair, and just sort of embrace who you are. And actually like just reflecting on like what I'd read, I just, so much of it rang true, and just now I just think, do you know what I mean, I'm gonna embrace exactly who I am and both cultures that have made me, and how that's positively impacted my life, and how ultimately I can impact other people's lives with my experience. Because it, like I said to you before, like race isn't a homogenous experience. It's just, yeah, it is what it is, and I am who I am, and all I can do is just, I don't know, be me and be happy being me. Do you know what I mean? Look in the mirror and be like happy with what I see, rather than thinking, oh, I don't fit here.